Into the ropes. Oh, knockout shot. Misery did a hell of a debut here. Like, she's done the work, but literally, Dakota, you couldn't have done anything except a Irish whip for the win. To give him the respect, to give him anything in terms of a background. Even a straight color.
Here is your winner.
Watch this be 2 stars. This crowd's having none of them. One star. Didn't even get to. Can't get up, right? Bailey Dub with the upset victory. Guess if you want to build a rivalry, that's how you do it. That loser Bliss attacked me during my last fight. I'm not going to stand for garbage like I want to settle things in the ring with her within the next 3 weeks. Abso-freaking-lutely. Good. You mess with Ripley, you pay the price. Nice. Oh my God, he's back. Folks, we are so back. $25,000 to the end of the season. We are bringing back the Shawstopper. Well, Alexa looks ready. I want to see how this fight goes, because let's face it, all things put together, this should be a humdinger of a match. So, if you... Modern Alexa Bliss. Oh my God, here we go. Rhea sniffed real close. She could sniff that title for where she is. And there it is. The biggest problem I have with this game, personally, while I'm playing it, is I'm always thinking of Oba right now versus Oba when the game came out, because that's basically what you have to go on, right? And Oba just said, "Nope, we done." That's hilarious. Bailey to belly. I'm assuming Mariah's dead. Can we get a tap here? Nope. Mariah's getting out of it. Nice bridge out of it. Nice little reversal there from the fireman's carry into the DDT. If we don't get the tag titles, I'm turning heel and going after Danielson. I think that's what we got. I think that's the card. Oh, here we go. What goes up must come down to the jackhammer. Down for the cover. And we got... It is all over for the fakes and the freaks. Mike the Ref and Bryan Danielson are your brand new WCW Tag Team Champions. Storm Zero right in the middle. Oh my God, is she gonna pull it off? Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight. It is
Super
kick.
Let go!
Let go! Super kick party! Yeah, pay the money for that. Yes! This life is going great! Let's go!
She's healthy.
Let's go!
Is she healthy?
Yeah!
Apparently she's back.
Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Thursday night Christmas edition of the AEW Collision Sidecast, the Christmas Collision Sidecast, if you will. Wishing everybody all the happiest of holidays. I hope today was a very good day for all of you, whether you're eating turkey or hanging out with family, playing video games, watching very bad football. Homer, 3-stream streak. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Yeah, it is. It's been an interesting day. Watching a lot of very bad sports today. Just because, watching the ever so great. These football games are absolutely atrocious today. Let's just call a spade today. Hey, PJC, good to see you here. Doing okay today. Doing okay. Just hanging out. It's been a quiet day for the most part. Have the usual Thanksgiving, what am I saying here? Christmas meal. Cooked up a nice little pork roast, some craft dinner, a little asparagus to keep it healthy, greens for life. And just basically getting ready for tonight because, my God, tonight is going to be an exciting night of wrestling here. And it comes down, it is. And like I said, I keep things basic. Everybody's like, craft dinner. I'm like, yes, craft dinner can be good when you don't have to worry about making it for anybody else. The standards get to be a little different when it's yourself you're critiquing. It's always the joke that I have with cashiers at a supermarket. I'm like, just bag it, whatever. And they're like, oh, you don't care about what order it is? I'm like, I got nobody at home that's going to worry about it. If I see something weird now, I'll tell you. But yeah, tonight is going to be a lot of fun. Let's skip over to let's get onto this because this is going to be nuts. Every men's match on the card tonight is a Continental Championship match here. We're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to KD here in a second. And folks, if you have your favorite KD, please tell me what your extra little additions are because, I might consider some of that stuff. I like to fancy it up with bacon bits and that shredded mozzarella. For me, I get the extra cheddar. And actually, I don't even get craft dinner. I know. Where is it here? I'll just... I don't use real KD. I actually found I like the taste of Walmart KD better. That might be blasphemy for some people, but not only that, it's a hell of a lot cheaper too. It's the only one that's still less than $1, but I digress. But yeah, Nats, how you doing tonight? Hope you're doing well. We got a crazy show coming up tonight here. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're just talking about KD craft dinner because that was 1/3 of my Christmas meal here tonight. So if you have your favorite toppings for KD, let me know. But yeah, we're talking about a special treat, and that's the Continental Classic here. If you go through this, like Gold League, it's simple. You win, you got to have a shot. 2 of the 3 people that win tonight are going to get in, right? Like, you have to either win or we're going to have to... I want chaos. I want 3 ties. I want 3 draws, 3 disqualifications, 3 countouts, all 6 people tied with 7 points. I want to see what TK does with that. Hey, Zodiac, good to see you here tonight. Hope you're doing well. And Nats, you had Chinese food? That sounds great. I actually had Chinese on Tuesday. I actually, when I went to go get my groceries, I picked up some sushi on the way home, so. Merry Christmas to you too, so I always appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. If you guys got anything fancy for Christmas that you'd like to share, please feel free to throw in the chat here. And yeah, we got, like I said, tonight, 2 out of the 3 that win tonight will move on to the league finals this Saturday as part of World's End. But in the Blue League, like, it's a little bit of, if this happens, it works. If this doesn't happen, it doesn't work. And somebody else gets a shot. Like, if Claudio wins, it's a moot point tonight. He's taking on Mascara Dorada. Now, if Dorada wins, that means Orange has a shot at getting in if he beats Moxley. If he beats Moxley, he should have the tiebreaker over Dorada, I do believe. Yeah, he does. So then if they're tied with 9, then he goes in. But then if Moxley wins, well, basically if Dorada wins his match, he has to, well, first of all, he's got to beat Takeshita, which is, that's one of those where he could literally, Takeshita could literally tap out and it don't matter because he's already in. So literally there is one guy that is left out, and then it all comes down to that big match between Claudio and Claudio and Strong. If Strong can pull out the upset, this is going to be wide open. Because then if you get Orange and Moxley, if they tie, then Dorada goes in. Like, little bit of craziness all together here. So, but yeah, it all comes down to that. If Roddy can pull off a win over Claudio, if he doesn't, then the other two matches don't mean anything. So, and then the Gold League, I don't even want to get started about it because we might as well wait till at least one match finishes to figure out if somebody gets automatically in. But we won't know until literally at least one match. So, and that's thank you for the 3-stream streak. I appreciate you being here all the time, along with all of you. I know that some of my schedule's a little off, so you can't be here for every stream, but whenever you're here, it's always great to have you here, whether you're lurking, whether you're chatting, or whether you're looking for a good time. I say it at the end of every stream, but I mean it every time. Off topic, in NFL news, according to ESPN stats and information, Washington Commanders franchise record 8 standalone games in the 2025 regular season finally over. Yep. The Commanders went 0-8. That does not surprise me. I believe that'll be for your Commanders, Nats. I'm sorry to chat with you about that, but yeah, it's pretty rough being a Nats fan and sorry, commies. Injuries. Well, as soon as Jaden Daniels went out, it was pretty much done, right? And then, well, last year was. Hey, you want to talk about that? Talk to the Detroit Lions today. Laid an absolute dead egg against the Vikings today. The Vikings defense decided to show up. Shout out to Rachel Ellering and her Minnesota Vikings. Shayna Baszler and her Minnesota Vikings, who absolutely ripped apart the Good news, Lions lose. Bad news, Packers clinch. Well, always allowing the Packers to come in the back door always seems to be somewhat apropos at sometimes. You get that joke? You get that joke. If not, well, I can't help it. But, yeah, no, it's, the NFL playoffs are just, my gloves is packing. But, yeah, just watching the NFL seed develop this year, it does really feel like it's anybody's game this year. Because I honestly feel that it all depends on tonight, really. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs tonight, I think they make it to the I think they keep the 1 seed. If not, there's a very high possibility the Jags get the 1 seed. Could you imagine Tony Khan on cloud 9 with AEW getting the SI promotion of the year paid for by AEW? So we'll throw that there. Rams Bills Super Bowl, Bills Mafia. Hey, there's always an extra table around with Bills Mafia. Rams Bills Super Bowl would be amazing. I would love every split second of it because of what happened earlier in LA. How the Bills just didn't show up. If they get to the Super Bowl, I'll probably do a sidecast for it. Just because, it would be amazing. Chargers and Seahawks, not so secret dark horses. Hey, if you could get an all LA Super Bowl, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Just keep the damn Patriots out of it. That's all I care about, to be perfectly honest myself. I love the opening they got tonight. Merry effing Christmas! Well, Zodiac, I think McGee's talking to you here. I'll throw that one there. Or how you doing, McGee? Hope you're doing well. Hey, DLW, good to see you. Oh, that's Brett, right? Yeah, I think so. Try to remember names all the way. Now I'm fugly. Festival's ugly. Could be worse. By the way, talk nice to your tag team partner. Backbreaker Wrestling is coming soon. Festively ugly. Okay, yeah. We're all a little bit festively ugly after Christmas dinner. I think that's the best way to put it. Because a lot of people say they get about an extra 10 pounds on them after all the food that they eat. So, I don't know. For me, it just... when the scale is like, what the fuck are you doing to me? I really don't care at that point what's going on with my weight. So, we'll throw another one in there for it. Festively full of food and Caesars? Yeah. Last night I did the beer and clam thing. Tonight I'm sticking with the iced tea for tonight. Tomorrow morning, got to get up relatively early because we're finishing off game number 19 this year. Tomorrow, which is Horizon Forbidden West. And then Sunday after Bills, Eagles, we're going to do game number 20, which is a bit of cheating with the Pragmata demo. And then after that, we're going to rank all 20 games. Banger alert, Fletcher is wrestler. He deserves it all. Fletcher is wrestler. Yeah, well, this is good. Well, Jack Perry. All right, folks, put in the chat. What part of the body does Perry chew out tonight? Does he chew out a foot, a finger, his nuts? Sky be a little upset over that. You two are the perfect tag partners. You wrote both things. Got a casino day pass with the girlfriend with 150 of free play. Nice. Bite his tongue. Ugh. Well, I'm not against it. Everybody can do. You're going with nose? I'm going to go Tyson here. I'm going to say ear. So this is a different crowd than yesterday, just so everybody knows. This was taped on Sunday. They tipped Dynamite on the Saturday and Collision on the Sunday. That's why Dynamite was on earlier in the day. It was a lead-in for college football, but it also made sense because you want the people coming to your show at night to have sort of a feeling about what's going on during the TV taping, right? Unlike other promotions, they try to keep their shows in order. And yes, I do realize that WWE did put theirs. Crowd's going to bolt these guys. Like, Fletcher is over. Perry's over with this crowd. Once again, everybody, just as we're getting started, thank you for being here. Always appreciate you. If you're watching me talk but not watching the action, in the States, it's on TNT. And in Canada, it is on the USA and Canada channel, which is confusing as hell. If you're on TELUS, it's channel 701, but I digress. Yes, I'm one of those guys that still has the old-fashioned cable yet. And just a reminder, we will be here for World's End coming up this Saturday. Probably be on close to 7 p.m. Eastern for 0 hour because they're not doing a tailgate brawl. Wonder what they're going to do next year. You think they run Boxing Day for World's End? It makes sense. It's more about what you do on 2027. Do you run a week earlier? Or do you run on the Sunday night? I would almost say don't run on this. He doesn't want to run on Sunday because of football. Fletcher getting a little feisty over here. New Year's Eve World's End for 2027? There could be a possibility. I got to take a look at that calendar. Is that a little off? No, it's a Friday, so it won't happen. 2028, I could see it happening. Just because it is January 1st on a Saturday, but Friday night, but why not? For the most part, I don't think AEW's ever run a Friday pay-per-view. Could be a possibility. New Year's Day, World's End? It would make sense. New Year's Day, World's End. I almost think next year they do Boxing Day. Boxing Day wrestling has, for those that aren't familiar with like classic wrestling, like I'm talking about 70s and 80s, Thanksgiving Day night and Boxing Day were two huge nights out on the for cards. With many of your favorite retro promotions. And the reason they do it, in many ways, especially Boxing Day, if you get all these gifts, what do you have a lot of time? People give cash. People give gift cards. People give, and people want to get out of the house, so they quite often want to move things to find a different event to get to. Well, Perry's dead. I haven't used this in a while, and I should be using it a lot more. He's a dead man. I ask everybody here, as we're going through this, and we got one night to go, and we got a lot of action coming up here, but What has been your favorite moment of the Classic so far? Like Jack Perry specifically, it's as crazy as it sounds, even though he's gotten 2 upset victories. Probably the moment he'll be remembered most for is biting someone's dick. Fletcher Speedball. Oh, who had nipple on their card? Who had nipple? Who had nipple on it? I didn't see any nipples on the pool. Was that a nipple or was that an arm? That's the question here. No, it was a nipple. He's squeezing his boob right now. Breast. Well, I guess he doesn't have boobs. That's okay. Okay, we'll call it that. I love this. Why are you taking this boot off? Oh, everybody wanted to throw in the crowd. Oh, you sick. Oh, that's just gross. Sweaty sock in the mouth. Who's more sick? Husband or wife there? Jesus. If you guys don't know, Sky Blue and Kyle Fletcher, yeah. Sky's doing something. Yeah. There is some kind of weird thing going on with those guys. Seriously. Ugh. Fletcher's more sick? I would love to sit them down both for an interview and ask them, who's got the sicker mind between the two of them? Sky's just a badass? Absolutely. I'll give you that. But could you imagine the two of them sitting at an interview and just an interviewer coming up and saying, who's the sicker one of the two here? And all of a sudden, what about thee? Might be like, how you two fuck? No, I would not be like that. I'm a little bit more professional than that. Teeny bit more. Just teeny bit more. It's so funny. And just bringing back some memories here. And we, like I said, we're one thing about 2026 is we're going to be doing a lot of reminiscing here. And I apologize that I wasn't able to download any of the audio of this before. But if I haven't brought it up already, in 2026, we're going to be celebrating 15 years of myself as a creator. I used to have a college show starting in 2011 over on Blog Talk Radio. Unfortunately, Blog Talk Radio no longer exists, so I can't find the files anymore. So they actually closed down the beginning of 2025. So we had a 90-minute college show to start off. It was a 90-minute college show. 45 minutes was Canadian Football League, of all things. And then we'd have an interlude and then 45 minutes of WWE. And it was a blast. A lot of people enjoyed it. I think the Canadian Football League, it was a choice. I just didn't want to talk about hockey because everybody talked about hockey. So, had a few call-ins, got a whole bunch of scammers because it was all on Skype. But we'll talk a little bit more about that next year here. But yeah, like going into World's End and talking about everything going into AEW here in 2025, like This has been, I think, one of the biggest banner years for AEW, period. Who would have thought that when we started the year? With the absolute popcorn fart that was Cope versus Mox at Revolution to start off the first pay-per-view of the year. If Perry wins this with 1 foot, this will be a borderline insane. Then he's got, basically, after we figure out who wins this match, we're going to have to figure out who, well, that was not smart. Perry's doing some stuff out of instinct, too. All the content creators who went to the show, this particular show, said it was absolutely amazing, and so far it's living up to the hype one match in. Beautiful bulldog there. Try to go for it again, and nope. Basta on the floor. Double count out. Let's go. Fletcher delivery again? Wait, water's wet, right? I think it's pretty much the same thing. That ain't no wood. That's steel there. That's the ramp. Takeshita the leader with wins in AEW. Okay. The ramp, the hardest part. I would agree with you, except for one thing. It's not part of the ring. It's the hardest part beside the ring. Want to go to Hammerstein at some point. Tickets were like triple what I paid for first level of Full Gear, so I didn't go. That's fair. In AEW, damn near is. It depends on the venue, sir. No, DLW, I get it. And I do feel that AEW tickets are going to be going up in price just because the demand is there. Still fun to watch on TV? Absolutely. Except for the audio being off, depending on the venue, they've really gotten the video production down a lot better now than they used to. I remember being on stream here and people just swearing and cursing a storm up. Jesus. Let's throw another one here. What the heck? Gosh dang it, these guys are putting everything out there. Oh, went for the psycho knee and got caught. Oh, God. Nope, that's not good. Lion Tamer of all things. Welcome, Jericho. Oh, God. Well, if he breaks his ankle, then he doesn't have to worry about it if he's not feeling it. Well, he got a finger on it. Oh, got caught. Into the snare. Oh, my God. What a reversal by Perry. Look at the face. Oh, God. That is a meme right there. Fletcher's face is a meme right now. Oh my God. Did you guys get faked out on that tap there? He literally just, yeah. I thought he was tapping right there. That is amazing. Oh, and here's, now he gets the middle finger on the rope. And of course, it's the middle finger, right? That's the key. It's always the middle finger. Well, technically, if you go through it, the middle finger is the furthest one up. I'm trying to do this the polite way, not, the bad way. But I only do that when my fingers hurt. No, this is pretty amazing here tonight. These guys just unloading bombs right now. Reverse, reverse. Oh, caught. Full Nelson suplex. High kick. Oh my God, into a poison rana. It wasn't a full poison rana, but he still got enough of it. Pile driver by Perry. All right, well, there's another meme right there. Perry's face. Jesus H. Two minutes to... I'm okay if Fletcher doesn't win the turn. He just let him win the main belt. After this, he's killed it every match. I think he's on the road to it. I think he might win it from Ospreay, not just win it. I honestly feel like, looking at the storyline, if they could get Ospreay back, Ospreay wins it off MJF, Fletcher wins it off Ospreay. I can almost see that happening. Fletcher's go to the top. I love how Shivani's got the stopwatch on him here. Oh, right to the ankle. Where's the brain buster? Does he kick out? Wow. All right, Fletcher's got a shot. He doesn't move on yet. Nice try, but... Yeah, but there could be a tie, so you have to deal with tiebreakers. And I gotta look at this. We could be tied with 4 different people, so he's tied with if Speedball gets a win, if Speedball or Pac are in that group, he's actually down one because he lost to... Actually, so I think the way it's going to work out is if Pac and Bailey both win their matches tonight, Fletcher's out because he's 0-2 against both of them. So there is a possibility he could get punted from this still with 9 points. Like, there is tiebreakers involved in this, and it's not a match. I don't believe that it's a match runoff. Well, Roddy doesn't have to say a damn word at this point. Oh, they snuck in they snuck a TNT commercial in. Attaboy. TBS commercial. It is an absolute great promo, and this could be the thing that sets it off and sort of set. This scares me a little bit for Claudio. Because this could be a possibility that Claudio gets bumped. I'd love to see Claudio in the playoffs, but I just got a weird feeling, man. Like, the guy that always ends up in, like, whether it be that final playoff spot never seems to be locked up properly. That's the thing. But yeah, now that we look at it, things are a little bit clearer about who gets to go there. So right now, basically, we take a red marker. He's out. That's the only one guaranteed out. And then also, Roddy's out. Mark him out right now as well. Yes, we're bringing out the draw board here tonight. So, and in terms of who's in, so no matter what, Takeshita is the only one that's actually clinched right now. After the second match in the group, I think we'll be a little bit clearer about where we can go here on this. Frankly, I just want to play around with my Telestrator just because new toy. But once again, everybody, that as we're getting into this, and just a reminder, it is going to be a 2.5 hour show apparently. So, yeah, OBS has a whole bunch of extra things you can add to your stuff. So we're going to start using that a little bit more as we go along here, and I want to take advantage of everything I can here on these. So, just a reminder that gift subs, if you're interested at all and feel like you're in the Christmas spirit, they are 35% off in groups of 5. So, in Canada, normally they're $35 for 5 subs, but I believe until the end of the month, they are $25. So basically, we're saving $10 if you're interested at all. So. No pressure, just something to bring up. Always appreciate everything you guys do for me here, and just hanging out is always fun. Chatting about wrestling. And yeah, we got a lot of wrestling to chat about. Like I said, we'll be here for World's End on Saturday. That's going to be a blast. And the only thing that sucks about World's End is the fact they can't announce a bunch of the matches until they get done the tournament here. Now, like I said, this is one of those matches that Takeshita's already in. He could basically walk out of the ring, walk to the back, and say, "To hell with it, I don't care." The only problem that creates if he does that is the fact that Dorada would get up to 9 points, which means there's a possibility he could end up tied with the winner of Cassidy and Mox. Or if Claudio wins, then he gets second place, and all this is for naught. And if it ends up being Claudio and Takeshita at the top of the group, I do believe it's just a coin flip to see who faces who in the semis. So, but yeah, as you look through the graphic here, I prefer mine because dashes are easier to read about scoring. So, this is going to be 20 minutes of fun here regardless. Like, oh, by the way, shout out, I know we'll talk about women's tag teams later, but shout out to Megan Bain heading back out to Stardom this week. She's actually on the Queendom show on Monday, so that the graphic just dropped earlier today here, so I've always wondered this Lucha chant with Mascara here. I really wonder if it could be used as a positive chant, but it could also be used as a I remember you with the Lucha Brothers, and if you weren't with it, you look like you were. Takeshita showed a little respect. Takeshi's supposed to be a heel. What's going on here? Callis is going to be freaking out in the... Oh, that's right. This is Collision. Callis never shows up on Collision. I was wondering why it sounded so nice here. Wow. Little story details, yeah. Ah, there he goes. There's the heel we all know and loathe. Bringing in the little, like you said, little small details do help out. Like, we got us, like, having Okada in this thing as well as Takeshita. I wonder if they're going to set up for the main. Would they set up for Okada to be in the finals against Takeshita, or would they save that for later? Oh, I love how Dorada lost it for a second, took a second. Takeshita was still acting a little extra cocky, so he was able to give him a little bit of time and just react to it that way. Really phenomenal time here. Oh, look out. Well, that's good. Yeah, wait. Oh, here we go. Little crash and burn action here going on. As we're going to picture-in-picture, which, if you guys are new here, I do have the Canadian cable feed, Joe posing. I do have the Canadian cable feed, which means they aren't smart enough to learn what picture-in-picture is, so they throw full commercials on me here. So Um, yeah, Takeshita is just like, if you want to talk about a year internationally and the top wrestler for the year internationally, I think you might have to go with Takeshita on this. In many ways, at least for the men. The women, it's a whole different ball of wax here, and I think that's a slam dunk for Monet, even with everything going on. But we can discuss. I think after the year is done, we're going to sit down and we're going to discuss everything that's gone on here in the world of wrestling and thoughts about everything that's been going on. But in terms of the international success of a guy like Konsuke Takeshita this year, just it is next level with the fact that he did win the G1 and a lot of people were ridiculing about it. And a lot of people were complaining, and how could you let this guy from AEW win our most sacred tournament? Yeah, right now it's turning out to be maybe possibly a huge decision. A lot of people are considering it could be like a Mike Santana thing, though. And the fact that I do believe it's Yota Tsuji that is taking on Takeshita Wrestle Kingdom for the title. And if Tsuji wins, he wants to bring back the old IWGP World Championship. Now, don't quote me because I don't. I'll be honest, I don't follow New Japan as much as I'd really like to. Mainly because I do have, stuff to do in life, because I'm not here every day doing stuff. Well, I'm not watching wrestling 24/7. I think is the best way to put it here. I know some people do, and good on them, and I wish someday I had the ability to have a little bit more time to do that. But working 4 days, 40 hours a week at a regular job on top of this, you do have to set a little bit of priorities here. So it's the main reason why I love AEW is the fact that when I'm going, I like a promotion that doesn't waste my time. And that's the biggest reason why I enjoy watching AEW. Let me know why you guys like AEW and whether you just hate watching it or whether you enjoy watching it. For me, it's the fact that I got 2 hours. You're going to get 2 hours from me and you're going to produce a great product for me. The Dorada's going nuts. Like, last we got to him, he was like 90% dead. Well, this time at least he dove and actually landed on Takeshita, not on the guardrail. This crowd is behind Dorada, that's for sure. I think they put on a great show most of the time. Absolutely. That's the one thing about AEW. Like, you can it has its faults. Don't get me wrong. Never mind 450, let's go. Nope. And I think the biggest complaint that anybody puts together here is the fact that AEW shows have a tendency to run long. I think we all can agree to that. Going up over the top. Oh, geez. Tried to go for a Hurricanrana. Got caught in a Blue Thunder Bomb. My God, what a reversal right there. This is pretty amazing right here. But, yeah, I think the only complaint that everybody has universally, and it's just... I remember seeing this with a few indie shows that I couldn't get used to it. The fact that the shows are so long. Now we're starting to get used to the fact that they are running 4 plus the pre-show, whatever version they're going to have of that. And All In turns out to be that 6-hour show, but it doesn't feel like it by the time you get through it. Jesus! That was not a Poison Rhino. That was a Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere. You turn your head for 1 second, all of a sudden there's 3 power moves and a pin. It's like, holy I believe this is what we call a banger alert. I think we might have to make a t-shirt out of that. Oh, God. That was actually an not a full buckle, but oh, God. Really? Rage and fire off the second rope? Please don't. Banger alert. All right, Zodiac. I will make sure if I get a t-shirt made, we're going to, we'll make sure you get royalties for it. Oh, God. Oh, God. Love dividends. Hey, residual money's always great. Wouldn't mind the length of the show ended before 11. Sometimes I struggle to stay awake. That's fair. And like I said, AEW is far from perfect. And I know living in the mountain time zone, I actually get a pretty good advantage here because they finish at 10 o'clock my time. I know Zodiac, when we play our 2K after, ends up getting a little bit of a dicey situation there with you guys having to stay up so late on a Wednesday. No way. Lariat off the top. Zodedak. He ain't done. Oh, yeah, this is how you finish it. Well, at least we got a definitive winner in the pool, which means he'll probably lose in the semis. Let me just get this updated right now. Not that this changes a whole lot. And I know AEW has their graphic pre-rendered already, but I gotta admit, mine gets updated pretty damn quick myself here, so let's get the red back in here. So Dorada is officially out. So we got 2 out, 1 in so far. And then this match right here, we're getting right after the break here, is basically going to determine exactly where we're going here. It's easy to show a graphic immediately after the match of a tape show. Amen, sir. But you got to admit, I get it fixed pretty quick here. Yeah, if I don't say so myself. It comes back to working. For those that aren't familiar, please check out our YouTube channel, Backbreaker Video. We do have a lot of classic matches from the Alberta wrestling scene here. And I will be working on more in 2026 because I do have a bit of a graphics library, I believe it's called. A lot of the live shows, I would do graphics at the same time that we were running the show. Like I'd either have to have them pre-programmed or I'd be literally typing on the fly as I'm commentating. So that's why I'm so used to like knowing what I have to do right away and trying to know what I want to say before I start throwing it out there. So, but yeah, so a lot of great memories of the shows I used to call and whatnot, and we'll get some more, and I do believe we'll get some special guests in here to call some matches as well. So, because we got a few matches we have to look at here as we go. So. Just want to check sign chat. Sorry to bother you. Sorry to slow down for a second there. Oh, no, it's working. Okay. If you're wondering what I was doing here, I'm just, every time that I update the graphic, I have to change the screen away from my YouTube feed that I'm watching the preview on. Just I want to make sure that's running. And every time I come back, I see that it's delayed by the amount of time I changed it over. So that's why it's a little bit of a headache there. Okay, now I can feel comfortable that everything's running properly. It's really strange when you start seeing things that are working out really well. But speaking of working really well, like everything's starting to come up somewhat roses here. I know we're probably gonna have the Gold League matches be the end of Collision tonight. But yeah, watching these things go through here, like the one thing I would love to see is if they end up having whether it be Kevin Knight or Pac, either way. I want to see Speedball in the main event against Okada. And Speedball get the win over Okada. Just to create that extra little bit of drama. Yeah, this one absolutely is a big one because then we could determine who's going to be moving on. And stylistically, realistically, it would make the most sense that your IWGP World Champion and your CMLL World Champion would be the two people to advance out of a bracket. It was just a happy coincidence that both these champions ended up on the same side of the draw. Yeah, that cherry ain't helping. So yeah, if you look over this, if it's straight up, Claudio wins, he's in. Claudio ties, he's out. Unless there's a tie in the other match. Could you imagine there being a draw here? And Claudio has to hope that Mox and Cassidy tie? Because that would be the only way he'd be able to get in that case. I like this. There's two things I like about this gear that he's got on. Number one, it's not Paragon gear. It is Roderick Strong gear. Never mind, it says Paragon on the back. Damn it! Well, let's just back that up. The other thing I like about this gear is that it's a tribute a bit to Adam Cole here with the Claudio is not fooling around here. It's a tribute to Adam Cole with the Halo gear. Because it does have a fair bit of Halo colors, the green and the Army colors. And Claudio's like, no, you get your ass in here right now. stretch coming out. Let's go. By the way, shout out to the Players Club shirt. Limited time available only. New merch coming. Oh, I heard a pop there. Thank you for the stretch, sir. Appreciate it. Been sitting on this spot most of the day today, working on editing and such. By the way, the gaming channel, as I have uploaded just before tonight's show, it is official now. 1 video a day for 4 years straight. 13K away from 200,000 points. Ooh. You're going to have me doing some work here, I think. Either that or we got to move things up to scale here a bit. What I'll do for you, Zodiac, I'll make sure one of the things I'll put on my Twitch checklist, and for everybody here, because I'm sure there's a bunch of you here with a bunch of points. I'll get the Blurb catalog updated a little bit more. More sound effects available and whatnot. We did originally have 10G in here, but it involved bits, so a lot of people didn't want to be a part of it, which I don't blame them. Roddy sneaks in the ring. The referee starts complaining, ends up give us access to the soundboard. I will see how we could do that. But no, the Blurb soundboard has pretty much everything I have, so. It does not. I'm going to have to check on that. The only thing I was really scared of with Tangia was the fact they have that text-to-speech and, you know, the AI speech thing. Oh my God, the high knee. Oh God. Roddy with the upset. Let's go. Roderick Strong out of nowhere. And Claudio is officially, well, not officially out, but he's got work to do now. This was basically get out here and just let's go to work. Well, here comes Briscoe. I guess that makes sense if he's taking on Garcia again. There's your updated stats. I'm not marking Claudio out, because Claudio's not officially out yet. Yeah, it is a shock, though. It is absolutely amazing that happened there. Oh, and Marita's getting a pearl necklace. How apropos during a Roderick Strong match. You think Mox is going to win the main event? It could be. Maybe we got a mixed tag coming out. It's Hammerstein. Like, this crowd is... Let me correct myself. It's Hammerstein on a Sunday. And it's a Sunday afternoon crowd. So they got lots of time to be liquored up, and they've just watched the Jets lose. So you know they got extra energy, want to get it out on somebody. Mark gonna make more kids while Juice watches. I just basically drama is probably the best way to put that. So a tag team street fight. This actually makes a lot of sense. Next level match. You're just buying time until Lashley gets healthy. That's fair. I don't know if they go for the tag titles, though. That's the thing. So whatever they do to him, basically saying, when we lose to you, that's not our fault. It is lore that Lashley coming for MJF when he gets that belt. I think that's a smart thing to do. And all right, Statlander and Hater. That match is going to be a banger one way or the other. I do feel that it's only going to be. I think we all agreed yesterday that Statlander is probably going to win that one. Shelton should get a singles. Absolutely. I think Shelton gets in the position where I think he'd be in that TNT national conversation. Honestly, if it ends up being Takeshita winning the United or the Continental title, I would love to see Shelton Benjamin Konsuke Takeshita. I would love to see Shelton be the first opponent for Takeshita, even if he loses. They're really. It's so weird. The dynamic of a push in AEW is so different compared to a dynamic in other promotions. Because even wins and losses mean even less, even though they mean more. If you get my drift here. Everybody says they mean so much here. They keep track of records and whatnot. But if you can put on banger after banger after banger, like hell, Mark Briscoe is putting on banger after banger after banger. In a different sense. Like it's not the same technical style. Let's say a Kyle Fletcher or Takeshita and Okada. Like he brings that different groove style, right? Swerve lost a lot on his way up. Absolutely. And I agree with you completely there. That guys earn their dues. Guys and girls earn their dues all the way up. But if you can make yourself compelling even in a loss, that will help you drive yourself to that next level. All right, this is go time here. All right, so got to play through this and see what happens here. If Pac wins, he lost to Perry, he beat Bailey, and lost to Okada. So essentially, if Pac wants to get in, he has to win and hope that Bailey beats Okada. Because if Bailey wins, it's going to end up being a three-way tie for first. If Bailey ends up winning and Pac ends up winning. Like this almost makes me think we're going to end up with a three-way after this. And I do appreciate the fact that there are so little spoilers out here about what happened. I do know some news centers do have spoilers up of everything. I don't look at them. I don't care about them. The thing about me as well is the fact that working in wrestling as much as I did, they would tell me who would win in the end. I'm more about the journey than I am about the destination, if that makes a lot of sense. Like the fact that Roddy won as quick as he did over Claudio, to me, that's more of a story than just, all right, Roddy won. If you saw that on paper, you would think it would be like a long, drawn-out match, and Claudio would have just got shocked his way out. Claudio just got the piss beaten out of him the same way that he beats everybody up. Well, let's look at this. If Kevin Knight wins, he's beaten Perry. Wow. Okay, so if Kevin Knight wins, basically he has to cheer for Okada to win. Because if Kevin Knight wins, he has wins over Perry and Okada, which would give if Kevin Knight wins, then I'm pretty sure that Okada's out. Because even if he wins, he's lost to Jack Perry and to Kevin Knight. Oh no, he beat Jack. He beat Darby. That's right. Nope, he'll still be in. Perry would get punted because I think that's the way it would work there. Yep. Okada wins, Perry gets punted. Because it'll be basically a 2-0, 1-1, 0-2 kind of deal. Now, Bayley wins. Now we get into some interesting math here. Oh, try that arm drag, and Pac just said, nope, I ain't doing that again. Oh, then Knight says, yes, you will. Almost makes me wonder if this match goes to a draw. If this match goes to a draw, then they can look at maybe the winner of Bayley and Okada being the guy that moves on. Then if that ends up being a tie, then you have a 4-way tie for second. Or a 4-way tie for second between everybody else that's going. The fact that we get to sit here and discuss all these permutations, combinations, what's going to happen where with when and how and who and all that great stuff. It's the reason I love these kind of events, right? Like, it's so funny. I'll be the guy that sits by the board. You know how they have on NBC and all that, or NBC, ABC, all those, Fox and ESPN, all those guys. They have those virtual boards there where you can just push the button and it indicates who wins and loses, and you see the probabilities bounce up and down. That's pretty much where I'm at all the time. But yeah, I really do hope you guys get a chance to come join me as part of the AEW World's End Sidecast coming up this Saturday. We will be here about 7 o'clock Eastern. Talk about the pay-per-view. Talk about the C2 and the whole thing that went down on it. We'll be available both on YouTube and on Twitch. So basically where you are right now is where we're going to be. So feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up. Helps us get the word out that we are out here. Kevin staring down at Pac like he's a little munchkin. And if you're over on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow button if you haven't already. Knight gets some real height on that clothesline just by jumping. And it looks so much more explosive with the fact that he kicks his legs out the way that he does. Pac just keeps getting dumped to the outside all the time. Miss. I love how he does that split-legged jump up like that. And especially on the ropes, he doesn't get a whole lot of hype, but it looks like it because he's doing the splits like that. It's like a superhero pose, like dun da da. All right, that was hype. That was hype. I will give that for a hype. Oh, you could jump higher. It's been a while since I've been able to play this on somebody else besides myself.
You told some of the biggest lies that I've ever heard of in my whole life.
Not saying, just saying. I love how Shivani's like trying to BS his way through this. When he did realize that the winner of this gets 9 points regardless. See, I want that as a thing. Okay, fair enough. I gotta see if Blurp can add some extra voice sounds to it. They might actually have that in there somewhere. Like I said, there's a lot of things I want to go through and sort out. Now that I pretty much have the stream where I want it, it's more the fact I got to use the tools to clean things up and just add the finer details to get it where I need to be. Like right now, I only have 2 overlays to build, and they'll be rather quick. I got to build one for Backbreaker Wrestling, which is coming up soon. Depending how fast we get through Burning Shores tomorrow, I might be working on it tomorrow night. If not, I'll be working on Saturday morning. Just putting the finer details together. The 2 of the 3 titles are done. The third one, I just have to get the logos put together and put that belt together. The wrestlers, I want to make sure that they all have the same ranking. That way things are fair when we get into it here. Not have it fixed like I'm 10 points higher than everybody else. If you guys have any recommendations who you want added to Backbreaker Wrestling, whether it be real, fictitious, or otherwise, feel free to let me know. And yeah, I'm pretty much open to anything here. As long as it won't get me sued. Which honestly, getting sued right now would you can't take blood from a stone, so they're gonna sue me for money. I guess it's perfectly fine at this point. But yeah, I'll see if I could come up with some ideas here and some other characters. We will be using some of the jobbers in the WWE developmental system, as long as I can get access to them. Hell, we might even throw some AEW stars in there just for the hell of it, so. But yeah, it'll be fun. I think the first couple shows we're just going to do as a play now exhibition, just as I get everything populated for the universe mode. And then we could go through a year or two of backbreaker wrestling as WWE thinks it should go. Oh, I thought we were coming out of a commercial break. Sorry, chat. But yeah, oh, and just to, while we're here, we got a spare sec. It's about halfway through the show. Just want to give this shout out one more time. I did it yesterday. I want to do it again today. Buddy of mine, Big Bad Boris, starting out on Twitch on his own. So if you guys aren't following him over there, please hit that heart and get him a follow here. I think he's going to be streaming some old school matches here at Alberta tomorrow. But they're doing a Degrassi Junior High watch along on New Year's Eve. So if you have nothing to do on New Year's Eve, he'll be he and the missus will be hanging out and checking that out. So, and just an overall great dude. So feel free to give him a follow here. Hell of a nice individual. And yeah, don't forget to tell him I sent you. Kevin Knight. Honestly, is Kevin Knight going to be a heavyweight champion? I don't know. Is he always going to be at top of the card? Probably. Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at this after just to see who's going where. And Tony Khan hasn't specifically stated the head-to-head, but the G1 uses a head-to-head system to dictate their ties. Jesus! Okay, that was a little much. That was more than I really expected there. The fact that he did get to step on the stairs to fall over, I know I'm taking away a little bit of luster here, but that helped soften the fall, which, you know, how do you fall off a 20-foot ladder? Good old JR. I just, you know. Oh, look out. Are we doing another belly to belly? Yeah, Knight's dead. Gotta be close to dead if he isn't completely dead here at this point. I'd assume that a couple of these guys are going to get some time off after this. Bach's having a hard time getting up. You can tell his back's having some issues. Oh, here we go. And Kevin Knight, he knows how to counter that. He did that against Okada, too. My God, what a shot. Sky high power bomb. Shout out to D'Lo. Oh, God, we're getting close to tie area here. This crowd, you almost feel there could be a possibility they could be getting burnt out, but my God, like they're still giving her as much as they can here. Oh no. German on the floor. Pac reminding these fans that they are number one. I love every second of it. You do not want somebody's C2 ending on a count out. See, if I was Pac, I'd be straight into the brutalizer. Is he going for the Black Arrow? No. Oh, Jesus. Shout out to Shelton there with the jump up. Hot diggity dog. What a shot. Shout out to Pac there, because when he hit the ground, you notice him doing this. Whether he's got a stinger or not. Shout out to Shelton there. Yeah, like, do you remember Shelton's early career in the WWF? He would pull that off all the time. That's back in his gold standard days. Reminds me of young Shelton and young Kofi for sure. Absolutely right there. Let's just hope he never gets Kofi out of a title. Or Jey Uso, whichever way you want to call it. Because nobody cannot convince me that Jey Uso is now the Kofi Kingston of 2025. Those two tag teams are always be synonymous with each other. Now they have singles runs to prove it. Oh, God, Kevin. No one likes Jay, though. I don't know. A lot of people do this. But I agree with you, the fact that they know. If I was Knight, I would have just bent over further, just lead into the ropes. Pac, get it in gear. He's got to hit that Black Arrow if he's going to win this. Knees! Roll! Oh my God, I thought he had it. 2! Oh my God, here we go. No, he didn't. We got a draw. Damn. Wow. That is nuts. This could be a chance for Speedball, really. I like the fact that they're not yelling 5 more minutes because these guys know the rules. Shout out to both these guys for this. So we got 2 different scenarios, straight up. The winner of this match, and realistically, I can't knock anybody else again. So I'm just going to leave that on for tonight because if I take that off, then my handiwork gets removed here. So, you know what? Heck with it. We're going to be moving into the women's match here momentarily. So give them the respect they deserve here. We could draw all our lines back on here. So this could be the night that Speedball Mike Bailey wins to get put into the semis. So basically our last 2 CC matches, winner moves on, ties get stupid. Well, tie gets stupid on one side, ties don't get stupid on the other. Orange Cassidy, John Moxley. Winner moves on, tie makes Claudio move on. Sorry, tie leaves it at a 3-way tie for second. My apologies. Last match, winner goes on. Tie means it is a 4-way tie for second. So looks like we're just going to get straight winners here out of this somehow. But if Okada, look, basically if Okada wins, if Okada wins, then Fletcher gets first, Okada second. If Perry wins, or sorry, if Bailey wins, my apologies. Bailey and Fletcher. Bailey will get first, Fletcher will get second. If Bailey wins, we get Pro Takeshita exploding. Just want to throw that out there as an extra little storyline to put in the back of your head. If Okada wins, we get Okada Takeshita in the first round. Either way, the Callis family is going to implode here. Because it goes head to head, right? So Could you imagine if Okada's out in the end of the round robin and that just... I think that would send Okada over the edge. It's also going to give us an extra title at AEW, which is going to send half the fans over the edge. But I digress at this point. But how do we feel about Maya and Hyan and Maya World getting All right, a random Gabe Kidd promo. It's not the worst thing in the world to have. Okay. So does that mean you're not going to get the match on Saturday? Well, that'll answer that question right now. These two are just two sick fucks. I'm sorry. Pardon my French, but they are literally two sick fucks. This is going to be fun on Saturday. You know that match that I'm always sitting here going, eh. One word. All right, well, you can tell that comment was pre-produced. Good on the fact that the women's tag titles do get on the card. I don't like it at the expense of having the AEW TBS title not being defended on the show too. Don't get me wrong, I think Mercedes would definitely do the Adam Cole MJF thing of teaming up and then having a singles match later. High End and Maya World getting their own entry. Oh. And they're actually wearing Christmas gear. They get a full entrance too. Not time for that yet. Monet spiraling is in effect. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Like, I don't expect the Babes of Wrath to lose on Saturday. If there's going to be one title change, I think it's going to be the AEW men's title. Oh, and it was just announced today that Harley is one of the special guests for the Pro Wrestling Eve show. The one we were talking about where Dakota Kai is making her return to British wrestling. There's a rumor that Dakota Kai might be debuting on Monday in Japan for the Stardom show. The one that Megan Baines I talked about earlier that she's on. Great opportunity that Hyan and Maya have seen me be booked in place of Nixon and absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Nixon just, she's getting her odd bookings here and there once in a while, but that's about it. And I honestly feel that these two are going to be officially booked soon. They have to get a win before they'll get their graphic, though. That's sort of an AEW rule that you don't get a graphic unless you get a win. Unless your name's Renee Paquette. And then it's all out the door with that. But if MJF doesn't win yesterday, it makes no sense. Hangman became Karen Page, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, I see what you're talking about there. I do think that I do think Hangman wasn't like he was physically aggressive, but he almost feels like he has no urgency to win the title back. It's like Swerve's out there. He wants the title no matter what. Will Washington did Will actually get a graphic? I'm trying to remember if he actually did or not. But it's been a thing that, after their first win, they'll get a graphic. Hangman Swerve's team name became the HR department. Well, we'll see. Either way, I want these two to get signed. They could work in Ring of Honor quite a bit. Like High-End, I do believe is one of the original Ring of Honor pre AEW. High-End was actually one of the focal points of the promotion. If I do remember properly here, I do believe she was a bit of essentially the equivalent to the Undertaker in that division. In terms of just the outside presence that was just at another level compared to everybody else. Didn't need a title, just needed her presence around to be well known as a position. But I'd have to go back into the Ring of Honor library to double check all this stuff. So I just don't want to be careful about that a little bit. But no, either way, I hope they get signed. It is getting into after World's End will be the beginning of signing season once again. A lot of that has to do with New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of places, if you're not familiar, New Japan in particular, most of their contracts, if they're signed to a certain time limit, the time usually runs out after Wrestle Kingdom. So I would hope they get signed, if not signed already. There's been a few people that have been in for shows regularly that just haven't got signed. Whether it's their choice or whether it's money-wise or... I don't think there's been any for a while because of the Vaquer clause. Because if you guys aren't familiar, Stephanie Vaquer gets the big match against Mercedes Moné on a Double or Nothing, I do believe it was. And WWE sees her, and before she gets an opportunity to sign with CMLL or AEW long term, she backs out and gets a WWE deal right away and mums your cousin. Good on Vaquer for getting the money. Horrible way how things worked out, but sometimes that happens. It's just like with any of us. If you got a fact that you got your job, you enjoy your job. Let's say you enjoy your job, it's a decent job, but somebody's going to offer you double your money, but you have to start right now. You can't give any notice. You got to make a choice. And for a lot of people, I will not blame them for making the choice of just going. If you don't have you got to remember, if you're going to make that choice, you got to remember what happens later. But to Vaquer's credit, I do think she's going to be at WWE for a very long time. But when her career's over there, if she wants to work anywhere else, promotions don't forget stuff like that. So there's going to definitely have to be a lot of discussion and a lot of thought going into it, trying to figure it out. But that's something we can talk about years from now. Oh, geez, okay. Well, at least we know we're getting matches on the 0 hour. Could you imagine the tag champs getting pinned 3 days before the pay-per-view? I am so looking forward to that Canadian tour. I wonder for the Winnipeg, well, the Edmonton fans too, but definitely the Winnipeg fans having to deal with that 5-hour show that we're going to get. Because it is going to be 5 hours. There's Dynamite, there's Collision, there's Ring of Honor. So. Oh, God, backpack senton coming up. Didn't that crack Blake Monroe's ribs? A move like that? Didn't we have the botch of the century out of a move like that? Oh, wow. Is it just me, or does Harley break her nose on every single night that she works? She is literally breaking her nose every single show for some reason. She's going to have to, she might have to get some extra protection out there. Well, I like they're getting mic time. Roman Reigns did for a little while too. It's probably not. Well, we could put Harley Cameron on the same level as Roman Reigns. It wouldn't feel bad for me. DLW, I think you want to argue that one. A little affordable tickets. That's a big win. Wow, here we go. S-Bomb, let's go. Nothing like a good old S-Bomb to set things off for the weekend, right? I have a big gray beard, Harley. I'll listen. Come over here. I got a spot. And I'll do that just in honor of that for you. I'm actually really happy that match actually worked out really well. Or the fact that Harley got a title, Willow got a title. Yes, we do want them to get singles gold, especially Willow. Like, Willow should become the AEW Women's World Champion sooner than later. But the fact that she does have the tag title, at least a little bit of recognition, a little bit getting out there, and the fact that she's she's getting the recognition throughout the world right now as being one of the best. I have no doubt in my mind that Willow Nightingale will be the face of AEW eventually. But right now, run with what's hot, basically, right now. And you got Statlander going up right now with Hayter. Probably going to see something. I really wonder what we're going to come. We might get the Shafir run after that. Stat and Shafir would not hurt my feelings a little bit about it. Eventually, Mercedes is going to get that title. We all know that, right? Like, and somewhat in my gut, it tells me that if Mercedes wins the title, Willow wins it off Mercedes. Or either Willow wins it and wins it off Mercedes, loses it to Mercedes, one way or the other. Just for the receipt of what happened way back in the beginning when Mercedes got hurt in the New Japan Strong Women's Championship match where Willow ended up getting the title over Mercedes because she broke her ankle in the beginning of the match, or was it ankle or shoulder? Either way, she got an injury mid-match. They managed to finish the match out with Willow end up winning. And let's not sell Harley short. Like, she is really starting to develop into a top personality in AEW. And it used to be all looks, no wrestling, and now it's both. Like, literally, there is a potential for Harley Cameron to become the ultimate package for AEW. In all respects. And I think it just needs reps, needs repetition, and once again, needs a storyline. Needs to get a storyline to get there. So, and it's going to be fun to see what happens on Saturday when they get to interact with two people like Athena and Mercedes, who, let's face it, we go backstage. You're looking at Mercedes, you're looking at Athena, they look at over there like, we'll make you, we'll make you, we'll make you, we'll make you, we'll make you. And we'll just go from there. But yeah, time to switch gears again, back to the men's here. Let's get our little drawing back up here as we go. So we know Perry's out. And on the other side, Dorada's out for sure. O'Reilly's out for sure. And we have Takeshita guaranteed. I guess maybe I got to... We got a check mark on Takeshita. No, not at all. He has not completely qualified yet. Actually, yeah, he has qualified. You're right. Let's... With the draw, he's guaranteed in with 9 points. So let's give him a nice check mark there. It just depends where he finishes, 1 or 2. Thank you for the pickup there, DLW. I appreciate that. So basically, we're looking at 2 spots right now out of the 4. The fact that it's going down to the last match for each one, kudos to Tony Khan for figuring it out here. And who did Claudio beat Cassidy? That's the thing. That's right. That's what I was just looking at here. So if it ends up being a draw, Claudio moves on because he beat both guys. That's where his 2 wins came from. If it ends up being a full-fledged win, whoever wins moves on. So we're going. It is very clear right now on that side. And yeah, on the other side, Fletcher gets 9 no matter what, so he's either 1 or 2. He's qualified, but he hasn't necessarily qualified for. We don't know which position he's qualified for yet. If we get a draw in our main event, it'll be a 4-way tie. Then we got to get the calculator out, which I don't mind. But if we get a winner, basically it'll determine who's going to get the victory here. Oh. Is it just me or the Death Rider's going to... All the Death Rider matches are going to be like 2 minutes tonight. Oh, wow. There is a little sense of urgency here. The fact that the Claudio Mox match happened so early is actually an advantage to Moxley here, because essentially he didn't have to wrestle on Wednesday. And if I'm Claudio, I'm just begging for counts right now. Like, referee can count by 4s if Claudio wanted here. But yeah, there is a high probability here. And I mean a high probability. We're going to get Takeshita. Or we're going to get Takeshita in the first round. And Don Callis is going to have a fit pre-show because he expected it in the final. He didn't expect it in the semis. This is like in 2K when you when the guy's still a stun, so you go back and do the same move again. All right, we've done it 3 times. We're going to do it 4. All right, well, Moxley just fixed that up in a hurry here. I keep looking at the clock and thinking there's 10 minutes left. I'm like, wait a second. No, we got another half hour yet here tonight, folks. So yeah, it's funny, DLW. You brought up the fact that Fletcher qualified, and they didn't even mention it. I think it's the fact that they goofed with Shivani goofed when he said he moved on originally. That's why I sort of got thrown for that a bit. And yeah, commentary isn't perfect at AEW, and I'll be the first to admit it. Having the experience of being a commentator for better part of 5 years, I know there's a little bit of trials and tribulations, especially when you're not super familiar with everything, but I will say this. Shivani has gotten a lot better over the years. They may have filmed it different. Possibly. But if you're going to do that, that's something that you change in post. Or maybe they intended a different air order and then changed their minds. That is a possibility here. Just based on maybe something happened that they didn't expect to happen. But that, to me, that's even worse for the fact that they didn't fix that little error, because that is a major commentary thing, right? And there's nothing to say that you can't go back in and rewrite that. Oh, I thought he was going to do the Claudio Plex. Shout out to Mox at the back rake. Even though he got no nails. I remember some of the most screwiest things when it came to recording video and such. I think the most recent one that probably is the most embarrassing in terms of people filming things out of order and whatnot. And we were talking about this earlier at the beginning of the show with last week's Collision being like 2:30 in the afternoon on the East Coast. You would typically see a situation like that, but then you get a thing like, if you guys aren't familiar with TNA, Mike Santana won the World Championship in their top show of the year, but because they filmed the follow-up before they actually did the match, his only time on TV as champion, he did not have the championship because he forgot to bring it to the building.
What the hell is that?
Like, TNAing as usual, but that's a whole different ball of wax that I could just swear and curse about for a month. But I will never feel bad about a promotion giving work to people, but frick, some things just need to be booked better. Straight up, just need to be booked better. It's those little details that drive me up the freaking wall at times, but no, but all in all, in terms of wrestling for the year, I think no promotion's been excused of this year. But I think one of the biggest things we could take away from 2025 in terms of wrestling is the fact that promoters had a hard time booking in a smart way this year. Whether it be the early run of the Death Riders with Mox throughout the early part of the year until we got to All In, and magically the Death Riders finally, all the bookings started to make a little more sense, to the first half of the John Cena retirement tour, outside of the hallmark moment of Cena turning heel and then, having one of the most interesting runs as a heel in a very long time, to randomly cutting off the heel run, saying I was a dick, we're moving back to being a face now. You guys can love me again. To the whole TNA, well, half the time TNA's booking of Mike Santana, like that to me could be one of the biggest crashes of the year. Hopefully TNA tape order will make more sense. Well, AMC, with all due respect, DLW, I've seen TNA move on to Spike, which is now TBS TNT. Or I guess it would be TBS at this point. It moved to Spike for a while, then moved back. But I've seen them move into numerous TV deals. TNA will just TNA. Until they actually prove that they can do their booking and somewhat make sense of it in a majority sense. I'm sorry, they're not going to do it for me here. Cassidy going to work here. This is going to go to the 9. We're going to get 9 more minutes of this, guaranteed. Like, this one's going to go to 1 minute left, like the rest of the matches have tonight so far. I personally hope that this becomes a tradition, that the last of the round robins end up at Hammerstein every year. Because doing an event like this, with a crowd like this, oh my God. Thought the Billy Corgan era might be the best in terms of booking, but then the company was sold, everything changed very quickly. Absolutely. Well, with all due respect, I can agree with you on the Billy Corgan thing for a fair bit. But then I look at the cocaine incident in NWA and just all the goodwill that Billy Corgan had in terms of his booking incidences and the fact that he didn't shut that down immediately. It simply just, to me, it just tarnishes everything that he did good. Jeez! Oh, there we go. Indy's gonna Indy, yeah. Well, Moxley hit the ring bell, so ding dong, he's dead. And Orange, well, he's just exhausted right now. Because he went through that table too. Claudio would love a count out. Claudio would absolutely be thrilled over a count out here. Moxley looks like a breaststroke swimmer without any water. Both guys made it at 9.5. Of course they did. Where the hell does he get the angel's wings out of this? Shout out to Shivani, attaboy. Well, that was great. Do it, hip hop, get caught in a sleeper. There you go. Nice PK there. Orange just got a serious look on his. Oh, God. And a Kid Cog Lariat by Moxley. Yeah, I'll give you that one. Threatening to put the wrestling tape industry out of business. Moxley's got a hook in that sleeper right now. He's got the leg hooks too. Into a heel hook. Let's go, Moxley. Freshly squeezed. These guys are nuts, and I love every second of it here. Moxley gonna tap? Moxley trying to stand up, but oh God, these guys are going nuts here. Is that going to be it? No. So if Orange wins, hey Brett, no, it's 2.5 hours today. Collision's on for 2.5 hours tonight, sir. No, this is an absolute insane night here. Yet now Moxley gets to go in. Let me just get this done real quick. I know you, Zodiac is right on here. Let me get this. Sorry, chat. Just getting everything put together here real quick. So Claudio's got to be upset now that his buddy's he's happy his buddy's in, but he's sad he's out. There we go. Updated standings to this point. We got our locked in picks here. Did some extra graphics real quick here. So, no, hope everybody's doing well. We are we got one more match. It's going to be an absolute doozy here. Speedball and Okada. Winner of this match gets in. But as per tradition here, we are getting to our main event, so I'm going to give you a rundown of what's coming up in the next few days. Tomorrow, probably going around noon Eastern. Might be doing it a little bit sooner after breakfast. Let's call it straight up here. We're going to be finishing Horizon Forbidden West. We got about 10% of the story left for the Burning Shores DLC. So we're going to wrap that up tomorrow. No matter how, it should only take us a few hours. And then Saturday, World's End, we're going to get the semis and the finals for the C2, as well as a whole bunch of other great matches. We'll be on here about 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Mountain with the 0 hour into the pay-per-view. Sunday, after Bills Eagles, we will be checking out the demo for Pragmata. And once we're done that, we're going to rank all 20 games that I've played this year on Twitch here. Give us a bit of a rundown, little thoughts about the year. I'll give you guys a little bit of a preview of what's going to be going on next year. And then possibly a stream on Tuesday, no stream Monday. And then Wednesday, we're back here for New Year's Bash. For the follow-up from World's End here. So, but once again, everybody, thank you for being here. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the sub and the thumbs up. Comment if you can. Over on Twitch, make sure that you're following. And just tell all your friends, because we have so much fun here as we're chatting. We've talked about so much tonight and just having a blast. So once again, thank you everybody for being here. And yeah, let's get into it here, and let's just let's catch up with the comments here. I'm just going to clear that up because we know what we're doing now. Fletcher versus Mox, Takeshita versus Okada for the finals. Well, if Okada wins, yeah, that's exactly how it would work out. Fletcher, Mox, and Takeshita Okada, which means Takeshita Okada, it would be a 30-minute time limit, which would give it a possibility we could have Fletcher as Mox as our main. And that seems weird, the fact that they would have essentially 4 heels as the C2 finalists. Having Speedball in there instead, getting Takeshita versus Fletcher, and then Mox versus Bailey. To me, that would be the more of the incentive to things going through here. But the Blue League, Gold League, Brett, if you've been catching up with AEW here, they are going through what's called the Continental Classic right now. If you're familiar with New Japan Pro Wrestling, it is the AEW version of the G1. They are fighting for the Continental Championship in here. It has been a round-robin tournament over the last 5 weeks. They are divided into 2 different groups here as we go along. And we are coming up to our last match of the round-robin here tonight. And right now it is going to be Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Kazuchika Okada. If basically Kyle Fletcher has punched his ticket to the semifinals. If this match has a definitive winner, the definitive winner will get the final spot, which I do believe. Yeah, it will determine if whoever wins this. If it's Okada, he finishes second. If it's Fletcher, or if it's Bailey, he finishes first. If it ends up being a tie, there is a 4-way tie for second place. Which makes me feel we are going to get a winner out of this, because I don't see us going overtime here. So Callis didn't show up for Takeshita's match, but he shows up for Okada's. The little story details, just like you said, Zodiac. This is like bang on here. Panda gear of all things. Let's go. Pretty awesome going through. Like, these last 5 weeks have been great. Haven't had a whole lot to worry about. But as you can see in the draw here, I managed to get some red boxes up real quick. So thank you for the idea here, guys. Just to indicate what's going on. We got. So yeah, this has just turned out to be an absolute insane finish here. But these last 5 weeks have just been so much fun, and you don't have to think about stories for stuff like this, and it's one of the better things as we get going on here. I want to see Bailey win just to see the crap come out of Don Callis. The fact that Okada will be out, that Takeshita have to face each other in the first round. Oh, nice sneak pin there. This is definitely going to be a lot of feel-out phase, a lot of things going through. Whole bunch of people popping in here for the first time, by the way. I don't call out by name because some people just want to lurk, but and I think that might be something that I change up here a little bit. When we add the follows here, I might actually make them anonymous just so you guys don't have to call yourselves out as you come out here. But, well, like I said, there's little things I want to play with here and little ideas that have come up. But watching this, like, seriously. I'm really surprised we didn't get this match in New Japan any sooner. Because if you're not familiar, Speedball did have a ban on coming to Canada for 5 years. That just recently expired, I think, just as COVID came up. Or just as COVID was relieved, one or the other. Speedball and Josh Alexander, for example, two wrestlers that they worked in the States without the proper visa. And if you get caught wrestling for money when you're down in the States without a visa, you can get a 5 to 10 year ban. Now that was a flapjack. Ten out of 12 awards go to All Elite Wrestling this year. To me, that was honestly, it's very telling. Extra penalty when you're Quebecois. Yeah. You know what? I like the fact that he doesn't really. Like, Bailey is one of those guys that he is one of those stand-up great guys. Married to Veda Scott, one of the best commentators not in a major promotion right now. So what random match are we getting booked now? Mixed Nuts Mayhem. You tell me Tony Storm didn't book that match. Well, I guess now that Pac and Claudio are both out of it, they can announce the match. Same with Orange. A mixed nuts match. Well, you wanted your multi-person chaos match. Because one of the traditions of mixed nuts mayhem, yeah. That's why I said Tony Storm must have booked that, DLW. Uh-oh, here it comes. You're number one. At least Okada got there was a release there. Makes you wonder what kind of shocker it's going to be if Speedball wins. Oh, nice counters by Bailey. And once again, back to commercial break. Okay. Learn to picture in picture. But no, World's End's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, we're going to have to get some matches, but it looks like we might. Timing wise, it is there. It's basically 13 minutes before the hour, so that's roughly where the last commercial goes for the 20 past the hour commercial comes in. It's a weird time for a commercial. It's just the match was poorly timed out for it. I think it's a better way to put it. It's not, and I don't mind that with AEW, the fact that it doesn't feel very formulaic when you do stuff like that, right? So setting up for the things as they go along here. And yeah, I just hate commercial breaks, period, personally, but that's just me at this point. No, but as we get going here, there are so many stories we could tell throughout this whole thing. And it's going to be interesting to see what matches get booked either later tonight or early tomorrow for World's End to go along with this. But as I was mentioning earlier, and I was stalling basically trying to remember where I was going from here, it appears that we might possibly be getting Kenny Omega versus Andrade El Idolo on Saturday. Because Kenny said there's some business that he should have taken care of a few months ago. Which, a few months ago was that one night that Andrade showed up on AEW. Once again, before the whole issue came up with the whole you're fired, but you can't work for anybody for a while. Apparently, Roosh got Andrade in contact with a lawyer that specializes in this stuff, and they managed to clean things up, and that's why Andrade is working with LFI, or LIJ, sorry, it's the Japanese version, over in New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom. He's a part of the 6-man Chaos, I forget what they call it officially here, for the 6-man Mayhem titles. Mortos freed Andrade, that's it, let's go. That's the man who did it. If you get a good lawyer, you always find the Beast Mortos. Not only finds a good lawyer, but also finds a good potential wife. So if it ends up being a 4-way tie, essentially you take out the Fletcher matches and you take out the Perry matches, which would have been 2 and 1. Sorry, it would have been 1 and 1. Sorry, 1 win, 1 tie for Bailey. It would be 1 win and 1 tie for Okada. One win and one tie for, oh God, it'd be one win and one tie for each. So who knows what they're going to do if they end up with a four-way tie. Ow. I really do not want to be Speedball's knees. Ever. You want to talk about counterpunch right there? Speedball literally, as Okada slides under the ring, he's like, okay, nope, we're going up and we're going over. Most people, when that happens, they would jump up and then jump into the ring, just for safety's sake. He said, nope, we're jumping out and we're jumping over. This is awesome right here. Like, DLW, I know you said that the tickets were a little more expensive for this show. Right now, this is actually showing why this is worth it. And I'm never going to fault anybody for not going to a wrestling show. Hell, I haven't been to an indie wrestling show in 2025. And there's only one left, and I'm going to be here with you guys probably while it's on. So I'm never going to punish anybody for not going to indie shows or any other show. The only wrestling shows I've been to this year is literally the TNA pay-per-view that was here in September. But I can tell that if anybody bought tickets to this show, it's money well spent. Sure, it was great. Well, like I said, I never want to fault anybody for not going to a show. I don't know what everybody's personal... Oh, God. Whether it be personal situation, personal tastes, or just don't like the card. But definitely tonight, I think anybody that showed up is definitely getting their money's worth. Oh, God. The knee's right in Okada's chest on the ramp. I think Okada does have a problem. He's got to get back to the ring. Speedball, speedball. The ramp, the hardest part of the AEW ring. I will give you that. Once again, just a 2 count, though. Whatever it is, it's a damn hard shot. Even this crowd's right behind Speedball here. I'm glad that Nigel's picked up on that too. But he hasn't mentioned the key thing right now. If Speedball wins, Takeshita in the first round. Because I'm sure that comment will show up if that ends up happening here. That sucks. Literally Bailey bouncing his head off the canvas there. We know he's fine because we actually rated out to him last night, so. Him and Veda or they and Veda, sorry. We're doing a, oh my God, Bailey with a bird? Wow! Bailey doesn't do that often. Like, he'll go to the top, but... And Okada just sneaks out of the ring. Perfect heel move there. That was amazing. If he rolls out of the ring, first thing I'm doing is I'm yelling at the referee to start counting. Why didn't he take the count out? He would have won. I don't think Okada would have made it back in the ring either. Or if he did, you just set yourself up for a finishing move, which AEW does in spades. If he beats Okada straight up in the ring, like this is a statement win. Hit one Rainmaker. Is he going to hit a second? No. Oh my God, he let Bailey up, but that's the problem. Ultimo Weapon. Needs the back. Let's go. Oh my God. He's so used to that being in. Oh my God, I thought he got him there. Missed. 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 Wow. I didn't see that coming. But Okada is one of the best ever. You know, it's funny because Callis is just like, I don't care. We're in the semis. What a night, folks. That is a finish. Let's get that bracket up for you here. The final bracket. Okada gets a chance to defend his title. It's Okada, Takeshita, Fletcher, and Mox. I'm really surprised that they have four heels. But these semis, like, yeah, like, you got it bang on, Zodiac. Like, this is going to be nuts. This whole night is going to be nuts. Like, Saturday is must-see TV now. Heels ball? Yeah. And if you're going to do a face turn, this is where you do it. And to put it politely, faces and heels as much don't mean much in this promotion. Mox is kind of turning throughout this tournament. Yeah, both of them are. Like, hey, Dodger Baseball, how you doing? Good to see you here. We just literally wrapped up AEW Collision tonight. What a finish. Like, just setting up, like, you almost thought that Speedball was going to pull that out. And could you imagine that it would have been Proto Shida and Mox and Bailey on one side? Now we get Okada Takeshita in one semi, and we get Fletcher and Mox in the other. Like, hello, we got some fun coming. I would like to see if they're going to do the 10-man tag with it. Well, I guess we got the mixed nuts match coming up, but having everything go through here the way that it has is just turning into a ton of amazing action here that's going to be coming up on Saturday. In terms of a C2, this one might be like we'll have to wait till it's completely done to give it a rank, but Fletcher Takeshita final, I would take it. I will definitely take that. Could you imagine a Proto Shida final? Just saying up new Elgato. Nice. Congratulations on the new Elgato capture card. I think personally I might be going full Elgato for everything here because my Go XLR has been acting up a little bit lately. It hasn't affected anything on stream yet, but I think I'm probably going to go with the Stream Deck XLR for my mic here going forward. But if I do, probably do it over the next few days here and start. That'll be the big thing that I change up here. So it's taking forever. It's really plug and play, really. It should be just plug and play. That's all it was for me. Unless you, you got to just download the one program with it. So, but yeah, I want to give a bravo to the C2 for everybody involved here. Like Roddy taking out Claudio in like 3 minutes in this last match. You got Mascaro Dorada, who got 2 great victories here. Almost pulled out the third one tonight to get him in a position to move forward. And then looking on the other side here, Jack Perry really making a name for himself in the disappearance of Darby. Pac always being strong. Kevin Knight getting a couple upset victories. Well, one upset victory in that draw against Pac, which basically killed his run. But at the same time, the fact that you were able to go toe-to-toe with one of the most established wrestlers in AEW is also a great job there. And Speedball, like, he took Okada to the very final limit that we realistically thought he was going to win. Orange Cassidy getting a good run here. Basically getting a couple wins off of Roddy and Dorada at the back end. Just couldn't get that last win over Moxley. And then Claudio once again being the beast that probably should have. If you want to talk about somebody that doesn't get his just desserts in AEW, Claudio is definitely that guy. Because he is like that dominating person. It's just, he's always that guy that just finishes one level short of getting to that top level, despite being the CMLL heavyweight champion. Then, of course, we got the Babes of Wrath winning it over Maya World and Hyen in a very good match. We found out that Maya World and Hyen are getting a 0-hour match against the Sisters of Sin. We also heard about Gabe Kidd versus Darby Allin, which if we end up getting a flamethrower put into that match, that might be the smallest part of that match. That might be just a transition spot more than anything else. We also got the Mixed Nuts match. Thank you, Tony Storm, for naming these matches. With basically a version of the conglomeration taking on the Death Riders. Basically anybody who isn't involved in a further match. There's been rumors of Kenny getting a match, possibly against Andrade. We'll see there. We got the Women's World title. We got the Men's World title, which will be absolutely humdingers. And then we got the Continental Classic semis and finals, which Saturday has the makings. And a lot of people, like we have a lot of conjecture about this. And it's funny because we've already had our year-end awards for a lot of places. And they said the best, like Sports Illustrated said the best pay-per-view of the year was Double or Nothing. Saturday might change that. very easily. So I almost wonder in the back if Tony Khan is just sitting there and just mulling it over. It's like, oh, you said that was the best show of the year. Screw all you guys with your lists. I'm making you wait to the 4 days until the end of the year to see the best show of the year. And unless they do something stupid like they did with the Devil storyline back when last time MJF was in the ring with an AEW title, I think we might actually get the best show of the year coming up on Saturday. And I am so stoked for it. But with that being said, I think that's going to wrap it up here for tonight. We're not going to get into anything else. I got a long stream coming tomorrow with Horizon Forbidden West. It might be a quick one. It might take forever. We'll see. But we are finishing up Burning Shores tomorrow. And then Saturday, we will be back with AEW World's End, which is going to be... I haven't been this legitimately excited for a show in quite a while. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm always excited to be here with you and always chatting around and having a lot of fun and just, we're talking about a whole bunch of different things, not just wrestling involved. But this show coming up is something that I'm legitimately looking forward to. And it's probably one of the most look forward to shows that I have seen in a very long time. So yeah, let's send things out here. And because I forgot to mention them in the Discord earlier today, I'm going to send you the favor over. Send you guys over to Walker. Those on YouTube, we're going to send you off. Thank you for being here today. For those on Twitch, we're going to send you guys over to Walker Pipe Guy. He's trying to finish up Pokemon Black, the Nuzlocke that he's been on for a while. So make sure to give him a follow. Every follow is $2 to the Stollery Children's Hospital here in Edmonton. Subs also as well are part of that. Everything that you do goes towards helping out young kids. So. But as always, folks, the open door will be open on Saturday. Feel free to stop by if you want. Other than that, whether you've been chatting, lurking, or just looking for a great time, thank you for being here. And always remember, please be part of the solution. And we'll see you all here next time on the Mike Drive Twitch channel. Take care, everybody.